if you would like to skip this big, self-indulgent bit that's about to happen, you can skip to about 4 minutes. You're welcome.
Okay, so, like, this is where I'm at with this, right? The fiction trope, the love triangle, is a situation in which person A loves person B, and person B also loves person C. There can be some back and forth, but there's some nonsense going on here, right? But that's what it is, right?
Exactly. It's not the most cleanly named unless there's, like, some polycule stuff going on, but yeah, that's, you know, it works, though.
Like, I would say it's really more of a love chevron than a love triangle, as long as you keep it to that definition, because like you could have some stuff going on between A and C as well. But yeah, that's when it turns into a just a polycule. That's not a love triangle. Okay, so we're all agreed on that, right? So Gilo alleges that what we have here is a love quadrangle, which is, we're already kind of into the weeds, yes.
Alright, so hang on, I want to back up for a minute before we even get there. What is a quadrangle? Is it just, like, is this the world's worst definition of a square, or...?
There's a bunch of ways to talk about the general population of possible four-sided shapes. Like, a square is a really very particular thing, which is different from a rectangle, which is different from a parallelogram, which is different from a rhombus, and so on, so on, and so on. And you back out far enough, and you're left with, like I would have thought they're called quadrilaterals rather than quadrangles, but, like, it seems like by definition those should be the same thing, because anything that has four vertices is going to have four angles. Maybe? Like, mathematicians, feel free to correct us and, like, explain if it's possible to have a thing with four sides which doesn't have four angles. So, like, the fact that he says quadrangle means that there's four corners going on here. So this sounds like it should describe a situation where, like, say, person A loves person B, and person B loves person C, and person C loves person D, or something, or like person B loves person A and C, and person C loves person B and D, or something.
Right, there's a lot of mess going on here, but like that's clearly not what this is. This is person A, B, and C all love person D. Like, that's it.
Right. So like the four-sided thing generally assumes that all of the vertices, if you assume that the vertices in this metaphor are for romantic aspirations, that they at least run along the edges from A to B, B to C, and it's like this. So that forms a thing that's like square like. But
this is not that.
But yeah. I don't know the name of like the three-pointed shape that's like the projection from the middle of a triangle to the edges. But like, yeah, we've got B, C, and D all arranged around A, and all of which love A, but absolutely no other commonality between B, C, and D except that they love A.
Yeah, this is more like a love fan, if you will.
This is like a love that one thing from The Witness where you have to have an error in the puzzle. That it's a love that thing. So in conclusion, what the fuck, Gilo?
What's all the commotion?
They say Lord Baelheight's going to make some sort
So now that we're all square on that.
About what?
Yes, it is time for the plot
sure it's
to begin.
something to do with that. I mean, Quaestiveris made all those promises about stopping the monsters. It's no wonder his approval rating took a dive when Lord Baelheit got rid of them first.
Okay, is anyone not doing elections right now? Is that just a thing that's going round lately?
I mean, I think Diadem is pretty well set as far as local leaders go.
I can't remember if we've already noted about Emperor is not really an election kind of a thing. I don't know if we've done that already.
Ah, thank goodness you've returned, Sagi. You hadn't called in. I was worried.
The Quaestor still isn't back yet?
Yeah, did we not use our,
He's been
like,
gone the whole time.
phone?
Apparently he was summoned to
Evidently
the
not
city.
since we called Gelderblame the
imagine
first
it's
time
about
to be
the
like, hey, yo,
Imperial
shit's
election.
fucked.
Something tells me he doesn't need us to tell him
Shouldn't be
what a
taking this
magnificent
long.
job we've done.
I'll contact you as soon as the Quaestor returns. Try to get some rest in the meantime. I've prepared a room for you in the city. Actually, it's my room. But please, make yourselves at home.
It's okay though. Gelderblame is a great
How
guy.
thoughtful.
He
And here
recognizes
I
that
thought
we've
you were
been
just a
through
stuffed shirt.
some shit again.
It's got us covered.
And you know, why don't you just go crash at my place for tonight, and we'll worry about all the logistics of this shit
I
tomorrow.
wasn't much help to you during your mission, after all.
You would think that this job would come with a situation.
Consider this my small way of
I mean,
making amends.
now I think about it, are we even getting paid for this? Like, what even is the nature of our relationship, actually? Like, are we an employee? Are we a contractor? What's the deal?
Well, we know we're getting paid in some manner, because Sagi sends money home to the orphanage.
Right. Except, you know, it doesn't. That's all just informed. That only happens in text boxes.
You must be Master Sai.
But yes, okay, fine. Whatever. There's money here, somewhere.
Yes, that's right.
Master Gelderblame informed me of the circumstances. Please, go on in.
I mean, it would admittedly be funny if it had a little pop-up like Final Fantasy VIII does every so often.
I mean, I loved 8 for that. That was like a whole thing. But no, like, is Quaestor Varus even, like,
Why don't we take it easy?
does he have any interest in our actual living situation?
Not so fast, Milliard. Before that,
We don't
ought to
even
take a
really
good look at
have
everything.
a living
Where we've
situation.
been, where we're going.
We're
all
just-
that's transpired.
We are professional travelers.
That sounds like a good idea.
Also, can we not crash on the ship? Is that not like a thing?
Great.
I feel like that should be a thing.
Let's start with where we've been.
Debatable?
Sagi,
Go on, take a seat.
I've got a terrifying feeling that we're
everything
about to
began
try
with the
reflecting on
Emperor's
stuff.
assassination.
Right.
And I don't think
That
that's
man
going to
we
go
ran into
over
at
well.
Owen's residence. That was Shanad.
Yes, Belheight's protege. He murdered the Emperor and laid the blame upon you. That much is clear.
But wait, wasn't Sagi ordered to assassinate the Emperor anyway? Why would Shanath bother killing him? He could have just let Sagi carry out his mission.
I'm not sure.
We're going to try and figure stuff out,
It
aren't
sounded
we?
like they were talking before we entered the room.
Unfortunately, yes, this is the point at which the gang sits down and attempts to figure out the plot.
After that, the Spiritor Varus came to you with the deal.
I can
Well,
respect
good,
it,
didn't
just
it?
the principle of
Want any
it.
help at all?
Like, games that
Once
have
did you
plots
manage to
that
stop the
have
machination?
notional mysteries in them should feature the participants in the setting
Stop brooding.
trying to solve the mysteries,
Maybe that's how it turned out.
which should include
Each nation
reflecting,
aware of
catching
the
up,
threat Machina
discussing,
poses.
sharing information, you know, working through it.
Vanquishing a Machina armor is no simple task. And with all the fuss over Malpercio's afterlings, just be content that you're still alive.
You're right. Thanks, Gilo. Sorry I was being a drag.
I'm not trying to cheer you up. I'm only recounting the simple truth. We've done everything we can. The rest is between Varus and Belheit, if you ask me.
Wait, you were saying we should back out of helping the Quaestor?
That's right. His problems are beyond anything we can solve now. The same goes for that mess with the past and the gods. That's between the Afterlings and...
And me, right? Every time an Afterling is defeated, we find ourselves back in the Age of the Gods. I hear its cries tearing through my mind. And when I wake up, we're in the past.
Don't you see?
It's too dangerous to get involved any further. This feels wrong, Sagi.
Like, I can respect
I'm not going to back out.
the vague acknowledgement that shit is extremely fucked, and there is stuff going down that's bigger than us, and that we don't understand, and that we're not ready for, and which is going to broadly roll over us. But,
especially now that I've seen the other islands.
you've got to
How they've all
put
got their own personalities,
something
their own cultures.
into presenting how the protagonist crew
Trying to paint them all great.
decides that they're gonna
That
push
doesn't
through
sit
it.
well with me.
Does this work?
Even
I'm
if
not really
Maki might
sure.
Prove to be something people could use.
Even then,
So you're willing to wink at mortal peril just because pro-machination doesn't sit well with you?
isn't that reason enough? Cleaving continents in two, yanking out people's wings of the heart? It's not okay to do things like that.
All right.
I mean, at the very least, we're getting some character establishment
I'll
down.
go with you no matter how far.
Kilo,
Like, I feel like if you're gonna have a typical JRPG situation where your protagonist
It's okay
is
if he
basically
cries.
just an idealist and is saying, look, but this stuff is wrong, and we're gonna
I'll be there
fight
to
the
cheer
stuff
him up.
because
I'm
it's
going
wrong,
to. I'm sticking with you,
and we're
Sagi.
gonna get involved
Millie.
because it's wrong. That's, like, fine. You can do that. Like, JRPGs
Thank you
have
guys. You're the best.
made lemonade with worse. It's just that you've got to spend quite a lot of time setting that kind of thing up,
Quaestor Varys
and
has
also
returned.
establishing that your
He's
protagonist
requested
is
your
not like a
presence.
idiot
Thank
about
you.
it.
We'll be right there.
And that's a point where I think this particular assembly comes a little
Let's head
bit
over to
unstuck
Quaestor's residence.
for reasons I think that have been thoroughly observed.
Well, the Quaestor is back, so for now, let's go ahead and we'll just table that discussion for a moment, and let's check in with our boss to see how things are definitely going great.
Everything's going so well.
I heard you had a hard time in Inue. I'm sorry I couldn't be of any help.
It's putting it lightly on both counts.
My guardian spirit gave me quite the scolding for letting you down. Really, I'm very sorry.
It's all right. We managed to make our way back, sir. But did something happen? I've heard you've been very busy.
Yes, because of the election. Tomorrow they'll be closing deliberations at the Senate.
Tomorrow? But that's too soon.
The senators claim it would be imprudent to leave the Empire without a leader any longer. But right now, most of them are in favor of Baelheit. I'd wager what they really want is to close the election while the tides are with him. His deeds have been noted, both in pro-machination and in dealing with the afterlings.
If Baelheit is chosen as the next emperor, we'll have a terrible situation on our hands. So far, he's used guerrilla tactics to carry out pro-machination. But were that to be made policy, all-out war with the other nations would most certainly ensue.
Correct. But Baelheit's selection isn't final. Not yet. We mustn't forget the small following of senators and citizens who dissent from pro-machination. If we could just persuade the Council tomorrow of how dangerous Baelheit's ambitions really are.
That won't be easy.
Tomorrow decides everything. You've all done splendidly so far. I'm grateful for your help. Sagi, would you
What?
join me at the Council? I'd like you to tell everyone about what you've seen in your travels to other nations. Should it come to that.
To be fair,
Yes, sir.
This is like the first thing that he's asked of us that we actually could realistically do and help with.
I mean,
You're free to
I
use the
guess,
room from before.
like,
It's
we
quite
can
the place, don't you
we
think?
can talk truthfully about the shit that we've seen and had to deal with in the course of our monumental failure. And
Yes,
that's
we appreciate
like
it.
that's actually something.
Until tomorrow, then.
Like,
Until
hey, look
tomorrow.
at the colossal beating we took. Just trying to deal with this guy. Also, I'm trying to remember, like, I don't think any other guardian spirits really came up in the first game, did they?
No. As far as I know, we were the only one that was ever mentioned in the first game.
Yeah. I don't know, I just got that thing where, like, somebody mentions something and, like, the plot twist predicting brain kicks in and starts trying to think of stuff, like, without any real justification other than, like, here's what stories like to do. And I'm just like... These seem like the kind of writers who would throw a detail like, hey, we were a guardian spirit in that game, and we're a guardian spirit in this game, but are we, like, the same one? Is the same one from the first game actually still here, but not, like, us? Because why would it actually be us? We're just, like, a guardian spirit. I feel like this is the kind of thing they would try and mess with.
Hear me, citizens of Alfard. Today we live without fear of invasion from other nations. But let us not forget that all such assurances are the fruit of Quaestor Varus's endeavors. When danger sets foot upon the land, who will be your shield? Who will be your sword? I needn't remind you that Quaestor Varus will be both. As if that were not qualification enough, our Quaestor is also a spiriter. Being the educated, imperial citizens that you are, surely you know that spiriters are a chosen few, whose guardian spirits grant them with sagacity and great strength. Spiriters possess the power to sway the fate of the world. Quaestor Varus possesses that power. I can cast my vote with confidence. I vote Varus.
I don't think this is going to be a convincing argument, to be perfectly frank.
I trust that you too will
He's
make
doing
the
his
right
best
choice.
with an argument that is very obviously not going to resonate with the general public.
Heights. Varus
And I think everybody involved knows that, but he's gotta do it anyway because he's Varus's right-hand man.
He's committed to the bit. Let's see how it plays. This is an incredibly stilted portion of this cutscene.
It fills me with respect and gratitude to hear of Quaestor Varus's many services to our empire. But honored senators, if you would be so kind, recall the sable monsters that have appeared not only in Alfard, but all lands, threatening the safety of their people. In the end, was it the Quaestor who defended us from the monsters? Was it the Quaestor who erased the monsters from the face of our world? No, it was not. We have Lord Baelheit and the machina he developed to thank for that. To date, Lord Baelheit has furnished us with a myriad of machina, striven to improve the quality of our lives. But those machina are no longer simply tools of convenience. They are the unpierceable shield that will defend us. They are the ultimate weapon with which to strike down our enemies. Then you have guardian spirits, wings of the heart, magic, the intangible plagues of our world. Tell me, have they done us any good at all? We don't need them! Now is the time to cast away our heart wings and reap what Machina has sown!
See, now, like, obviously I see the deal here, but, like, I don't think this really ought to be that persuasive an argument either, really.
But see, what if, in addition to screaming about how the wings of the heart are garbage and actually we're going to embrace a world of machina, we also tortured this lady for no reason in front of a crowd?
I can see it.
Look at this.
There's something here.
To think some people in this world continue to rely on wings of the heart.
Go on, spread your wings!
The age of Machina is upon us. What does she expect to do with such foolish adornments? If something serves no purpose, then it ought to be discarded.
I mean, we simply haven't considered that what if literally everybody involved is a giant piece of shit?
Woman's wings off!
And would be like, yeah, this is good actually. Talk about a resonant political commentary.
What are you doing? This isn't what you promised! Father! Make them stop!
Ah, there it is. I'm surprised nobody, like, even questioned this while in possession of the brain cell. Especially Gilo.
I think Gilo is always just too busy, making fun of her to really think too hard about her convenient disappearances.
Get out of my way! That's my mother up there!
Anyway, Sagi has, some more pressing concerns than who Millie's father may or may not be.
I mean, like, this is the, like, first I'm seeing of, like, actual honest-to-God drama in this plot.
You're doing? All of you, move! Get your hands off my mom!
Like, remember drama?
Sagi! No!
Like, all together now. Who wants what? What happens if her don't get it? And why now? This is what makes story developments compelling rather than just some bullshit that happens.
What's the matter, Sagi? Your mother's right there. Take a good look. Embrace your rage. Let your emotions overtake you!
Shanath! Ah!
Yes! More!
Definitely a good time for violence. By everybody's standards.
So it turns out that we do have a guardian spirit, it turns out. Just, maybe not quite the same kind that Callus did.
About time you showed your face. Get the Machina!
Good times. Well, I see our track record is as stellar as ever. Simply by being here, we have resolutely fucked everything up. Not that I think we can blame Sagi for this one, to be entirely honest. But, you know, just saying.